Welcome to the chapter on type. The type tool is located here in the tools panel in the shape of a T or shortcut T. When we press the type tool, we'll see some menu options here that open up. I usually will come over here and right click and say reset tools just to do that automatically. But before we begin talking about these menu options, the character panel, paragraph panel, and other things that you can do with type, we need to talk about the different types of type. So let me go ahead and turn this off and turn on the first layer here. Serif fonts. Now serif fonts are great for magazine and print, and the reason they are is because they have these serifs at the end of letters that help your eyes in reading. Typical fonts are Bookman Old Style, Garamond, Georgia, and then serifs. As you can see here, they are in their own font. You'll notice here that the serifs on the end and beginning are a little troublesome to see on the screen is because these are typically not good for the web. I'm going to open up the next type of fonts. It's called sans-serif fonts. Now serifs means there are serifs on the font. Sans-serifs means they are none on the font. As you can see here in Arial, Impact, Verdana, Tahoma, and then sans-serifs. These are great for the web. And the reason these are great for the web, it's easier to read, and also when they become very small, they will not tend to, I want to say, blend together as serif fonts would. Now let's talk about another one. Fantasy fonts. Fantasy fonts are like Comic Sans and Jokerman and probably wouldn't be used in most websites if you're looking for a type of professionalism. But if you do use these are great probably for titles. These would not be great to read in a paragraph. You could imagine reading Jokerman, a whole paragraph of Jokerman or Comic Sans. It would not be fun. So fantasy fonts tend to lend to headings. And then we have monospace fonts. Typical one would be Courier, and basically these are the same width for each character. These are great for coding of sorts. And the last thing we need to talk about in this section is the difference between open type and true type. And it basically just boils down to is open type is the new standard for digital fonts by Adobe and Microsoft. They usually have a single file that contains everything. There's more glyphs, there's more language support, and you can use them both without a conversion. The true type was more of the original font. And I give you an example of Adobe Caslon Pro is the open type, and the true type would be Aramo. And you can see this with this pull down menu here. I'm going up here to the pull down menu, and you'll see on the left hand side open type and then TT for true type. And we'll talk about what that means later. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about legibility and color.